Blake along with Dean Webster. Dean, this ought to be fun.
This should be a wild one tonight. You know, there's only going to be one player averaging in double figures, but there's a lot of great talent here tonight, and I got a feeling we're going to see two teams that really, over the past years, have really been a good rivalry, and I think we're going to see a great game tonight.
Calbert Cheney, is he going to play?
Calbert Cheney had a little problem with his back. Didn't really know if he was going to play until he got to school this morning. Went in and told his coach, I'm ready to go.
There has been a change in the Harrison starting lineup. Who are we going to see?
Kurt Stahl will be in there. He's a kid that really hasn't played very much, but with the absence of Carl Helt, of course, down with mono for Harrison, the 6'7" center out of the lineup. Gerald Van Dievener looking for a little inside power to go in there.
A lot of people saying Memorial hasn't found the right magic yet, but they're deep. What about them?
Well, a lot of the kids said we play like we practice, and I just talked to Rich Racines. He said we've had a great week of practice. If that's the case, it should be a great game.
Both teams are ready to go.
I think so, and we'll find out early. If Jason Edwards can handle Calbert Cheney inside, then we should have a great game.
We sure should. Glad you're with us. You got the best seat in the house. You couldn't get in here anyway. It's packed at the stadium here at the gym. We'll be back with the introduction of the starting lineups right after this.
Okay, I admit it. I like to shop. That's what
Harrison has won 13, Memorial 12. Harrison won last year 71-70. And through the years, Harrison has averaged 62.68 points per game. Memorial, 62.88. Talk about tight. We're ready for the introduction of the starting lineups. For that, we go to the announcer here, the PA announcer at Harrison Gym, Mr. Bill Mahan.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Harrison High School for tonight's basketball game between the Memorial Tigers and the Harrison Warriors. Now for your starting lineups. First of all, for the Tigers, at guard, number 15, Pat Schultz. At the other guard, number 23, Chad Weichert. At center, number 53, Jason Edwards. At one forward, number 45, Brad Mueller. At the other forward, number 51, Tim Veith. The Tigers are coached by Rich Racines. And now for the Harrison Warriors. Starting at one guard, number 10, Chris Lowry. At the other guard, number 20, Brent Kell. At center, number 52, Kurt Stahl. Starting at one forward, number 32, Sean Wise. And at the other forward, number 40, Calbert Cheney. The Warriors are coached by Mr. Gerald Van Dievener. Officials for tonight's ball game, Dave Lowenstein and Mike Zaire.
Here are the officials for tonight. On your left, Dave Lowenstein, Mike Zaire on the right. The coaches, Gerald Van Dievener's team breaking huddle. Gerald in his third year, what a job he's done. 45-13. Rich Racines in his 7th year guiding the Tigers comes in with a record of 92-63. Harrison 14-0, Memorial 10-4. And Dean, we've seen Harrison several times here this year. We've seen Memorial. They haven't been at home very often. They've been on the road, but two fun teams to watch.
13 of their 20 games on the road, and this is a big one.
And Brent Kell will set it up. He's a sophomore, and what a difference he has made. Gerald Van Dievener says he's as good a sophomore as he's ever had the privilege of coaching. The Warriors coming off an excellent game against Vincennes last Friday night. Inside to Stahl. And in his first start, he makes his first basket.
That'll help the young guy's confidence right there. And they looked for him that time.
Schultz looking for help. Veith will pull the trigger. And a rebound brought down by Chris Lowry. you made the comment earlier. Memorial's going to have to hit their shots early on.
They need to hit the shots, and they need to stop Cheney in the early going. And the rest of the Harrison Warriors really know their role on the team. So if Cheney's not hitting or they can't get him the ball, it's not like they have a lack of offense.
Kell going around Weichert and drawing the foul. Weichert, of course, coming off reconstructive surgery in that knee. He says the knee, though, isn't all of the problem.
Well, I'm sure a lot of it is you have the extra brace on there, and then there's probably a little doubt in his mind whether he can make that cut with that knee still.
Memorial, on the other hand, a week ago Friday night, got beat up at Heritage Hills. Cheney. And a rebound, Weichert. This is Brad Mueller on the side at 2-2.
Mueller is the guy that can really take over, and we were kind of surprised that he was in the starting lineup. We thought we might see Anderson in there instead.
Penetration by Kell, and they call traveling. Mueller, of course, Dean, we saw him at Henderson County, had a great night, 7 of 8 in the first game.
Oh, just took over the game, and that was his best game. In fact, that might have been the best Memorial game all year. The Tigers played very well that night and beat an outstanding Henderson County team.
This is Jason Edwards. The people that have been leading the Tigers, ironically, Edwards, a football standout, Schultz, a baseball star, and Tim Veith, a soccer All-American. They've been playing the most and playing the best, and a turnover by Brad Mueller.
Mueller, a kid that very rarely turns the ball over, but that time got called for the travel.
I want to talk about this injury to Calvert Cheney. He wasn't able to get his arms up. This wasn't just something that happened a short time ago.
I guess he's had some back problems for a while. He's had some back spasms, and I don't know if it's just because he probably gets banged around a lot.
Cheney gets the roll. And Calvert's first basket of the night. He comes in averaging right at 25. Kell with the steal, and it goes a heads-up play. It'll be maintained by the Warriors.
A standing room only crowd here at the Harrison Warriors. The Harrison gym. I don't know, what do we have, 3,300 maybe or so?
Better not tell the fire marshal that. The gym holds 2,900 exactly. I'm sure there's that here tonight. Cheney in the paint. And this time Mueller with a rebound. Weichert. He's going to put it up. And the Henderson native ties the ball game at 4-4.
If they can get the easy bucket before the Harrison defense gets set up, I think that's what the Tigers will go ahead and try to take as long as they're hitting the shot, especially with Weichert.
Kell, good penetration. Doesn't get the basket. Edwards with a rebound. Deep. Throws it away and knocked away by Harrison.
John Wise sprint back on defense, and that's what enabled the good defensive play there.
Sean, number 32, the son of Dale Wise, one of the greats in UE basketball fame. Cheney, and they call a foul on Memorial.
Veith looked like he was trying to put the soccer takedown on Calvert Cheney that time. Both kids going after the ball, and Cheney got there first, so Veith got called for the foul.
That is his first personal, team second. And Chris Lowry, what a talent he is. He's a junior out of Stockwell. You know, you mentioned earlier, kids like Kell and Winstead, they haven't lost a game at Harrison High School.
Winstead and Kell were 19-0 last year as freshmen. And you throw Stahl in there, too. That was a pretty good starting team last year for a freshman. And now 3 guys, sophomores, and all starting. Well, Winstead, on occasion, will start, but he will come in off the bench, and he plays a lot.
This is Pat Schultz, has to arch it high, and going up for the rebound, Sean Wise. Lowry's got real jet speed, but the quickest of the guards, they tell us, is Darren Winstead. You'll be seeing him before too long. Here's Cheney on the turnaround. Underneath, Stahl can't get it. He wanted a foul. Up in a hurry. Mueller takes it to the hole. And Memorial with its first lead, 6-4. And Brad Mueller with 4.
Cheney early on is not pulling the trigger, but the bullet is not firing out of the gun. Cheney's gotten some pretty good shots, too.
Nice dish off Cheney, and a foul. This one on Jason Edwards, and he knew it.
Rich Racines feels like that is a key. If he can keep Edwards on the floor and guarding Cheney for the biggest part of the night, that would certainly help the defense.
Let's take another look.
I think you're going to see a nice pass there by Sean Wise, really set up the play, and not sure where might have been down with the body. And Cheney will shoot a couple of free throws.
So Calvert goes to the line.
With as much banging around as there will be tonight, that might have been a kind of a tough foul to take for Mr. Edwards.
That's his third point. He is shooting 82% from the free throw line.
As a team, they shoot 76%. There are some professional teams that don't shoot that good.
And once again, it's a tie ball game, 6-6.
This is the kind of game we anticipated.
A lot of good high school basketball in the area. We'll be telling you about other games, and of course, Dan Katz will keep you abreast of who else plays tonight. That'll be on Newswatch at 10. Veith almost loses it.
This is a measuring stick game for the Memorial Tigers to see how far they've come. Playing the fourth-ranked team in the state, undefeated.
Veith. And there is a foul on Kurt Stahl.
Stahl picking up his first foul, getting his first start tonight. So you can tell he's probably a little anxious out there, and hitting the first bucket of the game, that probably relieved a lot of tension.
Matt Schultz will inbound it. There you see the crowd. Of course, Harrison has had a couple of other sellouts. They had Princeton here. Schultz loses it. Kell controls it. Kell did a lot of damage, did he, in the Vincennes game from out. Lowry, way off the mark. You know, too, Dean, I would think as they turn it over again, and it gets back by Memorial, Weichert, I would think being on TV, big crowd, these kids may be a little tight. Edwards doesn't get it to go.
That was the fourth Tigers turnover. Good shot there by Edwards, just didn't go in.
2:45 to go in the first quarter. We're tied at 6. And a turnover again. Stahl with the travel. Here comes Brad Rubson, number 11, in for Chad Weichert. Weichert said his stamina is not what it was a year ago, is it?
Well, when you've got that knee, and he really was out all summer. In fact, I was out at an AAU practice for the Evansville All-Stars, and he was out there practicing with them. And he said, you know, it's just going to take me a long time, and I know I'm not going to be able to play very long at a time.
Edwards trying to go inside. Here's Stahl, takes it up and in.
That'll get the crowd going. Kurt Stahl with the slam dunk.
8-6 and 4 points for the sophomore. Rubson loses it. This time to Kell. Down and a foul on Rubson.
Brent Kell with a very heady move there. And Gerald Van Deventer said, only a sophomore, he said he never gets rattled. He got the steal, he went in, he knew he was going to make contact. Look at that, still trying to get it up there. Not quite, didn't go in. Still going to get 2 free throws here.
Rich Racima sitting down with his coaching fraternity. By the way, in the reserve game, Gene Ballard's Harrison Warriors prevailed 45-41 as young Mr. Kell, he's a very fine free throw shooter. I can remember a few years ago we had a shoot-a-thon for muscular dystrophy. This kid never missed. They said, get that kid out of here. He's making too much money.
Well, he was Mr. Little Basketball, Little Bitty Basketball of America. One year back a long time ago. And the year before that, a guy by the name of Damon Bailey was Mr. Little Bitty Basketball. So pretty good company there.
Pretty good company as that team won the national championship. Incidentally, the Biddies are coming back. The national champions will be held here in Evansville. Schultz can't get it. Mueller goes down. Kell up in a hurry. This is Stahl. He'll put it up. Both teams having trouble. Mueller with the steal. This is Wilson, and he double dribble.
7th turnover now for the Memorial Tigers.
And in comes Jeff Anderson, number 41.
That's way too many turnovers for the first quarter against the 4th-ranked team in the state. You have to take care of the ball.
What does Anderson give to Memorial? What does he bring in?
Well, Anderson, he's got to do more than just shoot from the perimeter. He's an excellent all-around player, and he's got to give the Tigers a little more than just shooting from the outside. He's got to rebound a little bit, and he's got to play some interior defense. He's got to score in many different ways, and we'll see if he gets into the flow of the offense.
Kell. Schultz now the other way. He takes it, almost loses it, tries to get it to Edwards. Off of Edwards, and it's Harrison's ball.
Van Devender talking to Cheney on the sideline. I think he wants him to work a little harder for the ball. Of course, Cheney working against a guy that is 6'5", about 220 pounds inside, in Jason Edwards.
Down to 45 seconds in the quarter. Harrison with a 3-point lead. Lowry, nice dish off. Cheney. Beat stops up. Anderson, he can shoot it. But it's Schultz. And it's tied. We're tied at 9. 25 seconds to go on Pat Schultz's first basket, a 3-pointer.
Smart play by Schultz that time. He saw Anderson coming through, and he got back out behind the 3-point line and set himself for the shot.
The Memorial fraternity wanting a push-off. Let's take another look.
Let's see Kell come down, and the contact was made before the elbow probably came out, is what the official was saying. And we're going to shoot a 1-on-1 the rest of the way for the Harrison Warriors.
19 seconds on the clock as Brent Kell. He's been played. He had to play with a broken nose a few weeks ago. The kid also had a concussion.
Chris Lowry hit him in the nose with an elbow in practice in one of the drills. In fact, Bo came back, though, the next game against Bosse. Played an excellent game and was really attributed for the win down the stretch. And then, as we said, against Boonville, ran into one of the Boonville players towards the end of the game and suffered a concussion.
In comes Darren Winstead, number 22. He's got a real speed machine. Now there are 19 seconds, 11-9. Harrison with the lead, Memorial with the ball.
He is lightning, and Van Devender giving one of his guards there a little breather. And now Kell will come back for Lowry and give Chris a break. Probably might even do it at the change of the quarter.
Down to 6 seconds. They're going to have to hurry. Edwards lumbers up. And that's it. The end of the first quarter. Harrison 11, Memorial 9. We'll be right back.
We got what you want to see. Everything looks better on Evansville Cable TV.
Night here at the gym. Tomorrow on NBC and 14 at 2 to 3, NBC Sports World will have the Millrose games, and then North Carolina State against DePaul. Second quarter, Mike Blake along with Dean Webster. Harrison in white leading Memorial in blue, 11-9. Down inside to Anderson, and a foul on Darren Winstead.
Some first quarter stats for you. The Harrison Warriors shot just 25% from the field, 3 of 12. 2 of those buckets came by Kurt Stahl. Calvert Cheney was held for 1 of 5 shooting. Memorial 4 of 10 from the field for 40%. Turnovers, Memorial had 8. Harrison 5. Rebounding, Memorial leading 8-7.
And like Brad Mueller, young Jeff Anderson had his best game in Henderson. Came in with 24 points.
Here's a player with a world of talent, Mike.
Gerald Van Deventer was talking about the opposition. He compared him to one of the best to come down in Harrison in recent years, Brad Brownell.
I think Jeff Anderson is just a great talent, and once I think he finds his niche, he's struggled a little bit this year. I think maybe even with his confidence, been a little up and down.
He's one of those kids that can hit 4 or 5 in a row, but he fired blanks there. It remains a 2-point Harrison lead. And a foul on Jason Edwards.
Edwards picking up his second foul now. And Rich Racines, I'm sure, concerned about that. He's got to have Edwards on the floor. And they're talking over now whether they're going to try to replace Edwards And Rich just kind of gives Jason a vote of confidence and says, you've got 2 fouls, no more.
And Mr. Cheney with 4 points goes to the line. Calvert last week, just to give you an idea how, like all the good players, he missed, I think, his first 4 or 5 shots against Vincennes and wound up with a very quiet, 25, 26?
25, 26, and I don't think he may not have scored in the first fourth quarter. I think he had 19 or 20 points just in the second quarter.
A product of Lodge Elementary and Washington Middle School. Fine young man and a fine student. It'll play for Bobby Knight. And he gives the Warriors a 13-9 lead.
He's always hot, Mike, but he can get in a groove, and he was in one against Union County and Henderson County earlier this year where he scored 20 points in 4 consecutive halves. So he can score a lot of points.
Something that Memorial has been wanting to look for, something that Weicker gave them a year ago, was leadership, but they have not been getting it this year from anybody, except, I guess, in spots. They've had, obviously, some leadership, but they haven't had the guy to take charge continuously. Here's a 3-point shot. Cheney goes back up. Memorial controls it. Rich Racines was livid that they let Lowry fire away.
I think he also wanted Cheney for over the back on the foul, on the rebound.
Are you surprised? Here's Anderson. Are you surprised by the pace?
Not really. Both teams like to get up and down, and I think they're trying to take advantage of the other ones, probably just their respect for their defense in the half-court game.
Lowry, they give him 2, and Rich Racines wants the timeout. With 6:29 to go in the second quarter, it's Harrison opening up to a 15-9 lead. Again, we talked a moment ago, Dean, Memorial's got to be careful. They can't let these guys get too far ahead.
Well, you can't let Chris Lowry take advantage of the outside shot wide open. I think right now what's happening is they're concerned so much with Calbert Cheney inside that the Harrison Warriors are getting some pretty good shots outside. Lowry, a 53% free throw shooter. He actually shoots better from 3-point range than he does from 2-point range. So that's probably because there's nobody out there guarding him, and everybody's packed it in on Calbert right now, and Cheney has got about 3 guys around him every time he tries to get the ball. And when he does shoot, he's got 1 person in front and 1 person at the side and 1 person at the back that he's trying to negotiate with.
Among the other games tonight, you'll be seeing about at 10 o'clock the results from Boise and Jasper. Day schools hosting New Harmony, and 2 of the state's top teams. Princeton is at Mounts Vernon, and Vincennes is up at Terre Haute South, number 2 in the state. We'll tell you more about South. They got a date with these Warriors coming up. Memorial trailing by 6. They need a basket. Edwards misses it. Rebound. Anderson, and puts it in.
That's what Rich Racines wants Jeff Anderson to do. Get on the boards, get in there and pick up some cheap buckets. And if the shot's not falling all the time, then you've got to do other things to score.
And he should be able to do it at 6'4".
The Warriors right now showing good patience. The outside shot is open, but they're still looking for Cheney inside as Memorial falls back into that 2-3 zone.
There it is, Cheney. This time, tap.
Cheney got the ball in there. He probably should have shot it. That's the weak spot of the 2-3 zone, and he got it right inside the free throw lane, turned around, and just elected not to shoot it. So a little hesitation on the part now of Calbert Cheney. Should be 15-11, and they're checking on the scoreboard right now. Anderson hit the bucket to make it 15-11, and it just says 15-9, and the Memorial staff says, hey, let's make sure we get those 2 points up there. It's 11.
It is.
May I have your attention, please? The guest side of the scoreboard is not operating.
That's the problem. It is not operating. So it is 15-11. By the way, I think this is a key substitution right now. He just brought Brent Kell back in. Kell may be able to settle him down. You mentioned earlier, the kid doesn't get rattled.
He is a stabilizing factor, and I think we're trying to figure out if we can get the There it works. Dennis Bays came in and said, I know what it needs. Walked over, plugged it in, and
Joey Seisky, the fine track coach, told the officials it was unplugged back there, wherever back there is. It's been rectified. Rich Racines is contented. Let's get the show on the road. So Memorial will bring it up. 5:44 to go in the second quarter. They're staring at a 15-11 deficit.
Kevin Tapp is in the game, and he's trying to guard Edwards.
And Jeff Anderson puts in his second basket. 15-13.
Number 12 for Harrison is Tapp. He is a very good shooter.
Cheney loses it momentarily, gets it back. And the foul and the basket will probably count.
And it may be on Edwards. Not counting the bucket.
It is on Edwards.
That's a big play right there for both teams because Harrison gets a basket wiped out and Edwards picks up his third foul. So Jason Childers now will come in, and he's the one probably going to be assigned to Calbert Cheney.
A Jason for Jason. And this kid can jump right out of the gym.
Oh, great athlete. Seen him play some great games this season already.
So Jason Edwards says so long for the first half. In the second quarter here, this young man, Kevin Tapp, goes to the line out of Culver Elementary.
An 83% free throw shooter.
But he doesn't hit on this one. He's got a world of potential also.
Oh, I think he's a great athlete.
Harrison has always had outstanding athletes, and it's not by accident. We'll tell you about their all-sports trophy. They're in line to win it again. Cheney and Calbert having trouble finding the rain.
Calbert didn't follow his shot that time. He shot it and started running back. Probably used to those going in.
Still a 2-point Harrison lead.
A lot of the Memorial players said, we play like we practice.
Schultz ties it. As you're watching Aces basketball on WFIE, Channel 14, Evansville. 4.5 to go in the second quarter. 15 all. Stahl. Strong rebound. Tapp. Great athletic move. And they turn it over. Boy, there you saw the jumping ability by Kevin Tapp. And a timeout. 4:20 to go. And now, suddenly, the Memorial crowd is making a lot of racket.
Well, this is going to be, I think, a game of swings and a game of streaks. And already we're seeing it a little bit. It was tied at 9, and then it was 6 straight points by the Warriors. A timeout by Memorial. Back comes timeout by, Memorial. Memorial comes back out and scores 6 points. And now a timeout by Harrison.
We mentioned a few moments ago, Vincennes is playing Terre Haute South. Of course, as Pat Rady tonight goes for his 400th win, as you look in on the Warriors, Terre Haute South will host the number 4 ranked, possibly even higher, Evansville Harrison Warriors next Saturday. That will be at 11 o'clock and 12:30 Evansville time. The reserves at 11 Evansville time. We will not be able to televise it. We certainly would have liked to, but we will be doing the UE Butler game in the afternoon from Hinkle Fieldhouse. That's at 4 o'clock local time or 3 o'clock Evansville time. By the way, the Aces, big game tomorrow, Dean. The Billikens are in town. One of the biggest games in perhaps Jim Cruz's tenure.
It's certainly always been a great game when St. Louis comes over to the stadium. And I talked to Jim this afternoon. He said, maybe we don't always play as well over at St. Louis as we'd like, but he said they always seem to come over here and they play very well.
That game will not be televised tomorrow. It is an afternoon game. Here's Pat Schultz, Jason Childers, and it's Memorial's first lead, 17-15.
Childers making his presence felt.
A steal by Mueller. He'll take it all away. And Memorial opens it up. Memorial with a 4-point lead.
You know who they're going to look for in this situation?
You bet.
Mr. 40.
And of course, you have to ask yourself how he's doing. In and out and in. A great shot by Kevin Tapp.
Tapp is a great 3-point shooter. He shoots 42%. That's his 6th one of the year. He's not afraid to pull the trigger either.
Weichert got hit. comes back out. I don't think Memorial wants to get in a track meet with these guys, do they?
Well, they've got some good athletes. Both teams do, so I don't think it matters because
Cap with the quick hands and the steal.
Because I think Memorial is as deep as Harrison is, so I think both teams can go 8 players or so and won't hurt them too much.
We're under 3 minutes to go. Memorial with a tenuous 19-18 advantage.
You see Memorial now goes out on the wing to find Tap. They're not going to give Kevin that wide open shot.
Cheney down low. They give him some operating room, and he's got his 8th point. And Harrison, with 2:30 to go in the quarter, regains the lead.
Great patience that time by the Warriors. They just waited until Memorial made a defensive mistake and they could get it into their big man.
Anderson. Jeff Anderson with his 3rd basket.
Boy, after throwing up a couple of bricks on 2 free throws and missed his first shot from the field, he is really starting to light it up.
We're going to get a substitution for the Tigers as Brent Kell, nice move. Kell with his first basket, and it's 22-21 Harrison. We're under 2, 1:55 to go. Childers on the fadeaway. Anderson gets and a foul on Harrison.
I think it's going to be Sean Wise. Wise didn't get Anderson checked off on the boards that time. Anderson got the inside position.
Sean held his hands up. He knew it. And once again, Jeff Anderson comes to the line. Jason Childers is coming out. And Tim Beef is coming in. What do Veith and Schultz particularly give to this club?
They're the leaders along with Edwards, certainly. Edwards is only a junior, and he doesn't quite give it as much as the 2 seniors.
Weichert misses. The ball goes out of bounds. It'll be retained by Evansville. A great effort by Sean Wise.
Wise and Veith both going to the floor that time. These 2 teams really work hard, and that doesn't come just in games. These guys work hard in practice. So when it comes game time, they know what they're doing out there. They're going after full force.
Mueller throws it away. Kell with the steal. Tapp. Kevin Tapp goes right down the baseline for his 5th point. And Harrison takes a 24-21 lead. 1:15 to go before intermission.
The last 2 minutes now, the Warriors have outscored Memorial 8-2.
Schultz, not a good shot. Here's Cheney. They try to get to Cheney on the fade. It goes out of bounds.
Lowry tried to hit Cheney with the alley-oop, and Calvert was in between steps.
Chris Lowry had the right idea. Down to 50 seconds to go. Harrison led 11-9 at the break. They lead 24-21, and Schultz throws it away.
Both teams now trying to force it just a little bit, Mike.
43 seconds as Harrison brings it up.
11 turnovers now for the Tigers.
.30 seconds. Among the people that we hope to be talking to at halftime is the senior unable to play, Carl Held, an outstanding young man, sidelined by mononucleosis as we come down to 15 seconds. We'll visit with him. Also, Dean is going to leave us right now with 9 seconds. He's going to try to get one of the assistant coaches. Here's Kevin Tapp. No good. The ball goes out of bounds. With 2 seconds to go, it'll be Harrison's ball. Lowry, big shot. And that's our half. The score, Harrison 24, Memorial 21. Right now, as the teams leave the floor, Dean Webster is standing by with assistant coach Randy Hupford. Dean, take it away.
Okay, thanks a lot, Mike. Randy, what do you have to do now here in the second half? What kind of adjustments will you try to make?
Well, I think things we need to do is be a little more aggressive offensively. We're making too many turnovers, too many stupid passes. we get a little bit excited, and we just need to take a little more control and work for a good shot.
11 turnovers in the first half. That has to concern you a little bit.
Yes, I think if we had cut that down to 4 or 5, we'd have the lead right now.
Do you think you're in good shape, though? I mean, you stayed in it. You didn't get behind by a bunch. You staying right in there?
I feel with 11 turnovers, we're fortunate to be only down 3, and I think we'll come back and play a much better second half.
How about the foul situation with Edwards?
Well, that's going to hurt us. He's done a tremendous job on Cheney, but we've had some other guys that can play also.
Pleasant surprise getting Anderson in there to hit a couple of buckets?
Well, he's gotten physical. He's got more pleased with the couple of big rebounds he's gotten for us.
Okay, Randy, good luck in the second half of the Memorial Tigers. 24-21 as we'll take a break and we'll come back with more halftime activity. Stay with us.
Getting more from what you earn, planning a future, making dreams come true. The Money Plan can help you do that and more. I'm David James. Join me all this week on Newswatch at 5, 6, and 10 as we discover new ways to make money work for you. And be sure to pick up our free brochure.
Brochures available at Noble Romans. The Money Plan is sponsored by Old National Bank, your bank for life.
Gentlemen, here's an event that just might suit you. Bring your measurements because D&M Clothing Company out of St. Louis is holding a gigantic suit sale at the Radisson in Evansville for 2 days only on February 3rd and 4th.
Talented young man, Carl Helt II. Young Carl, unfortunately, has been sidelined with mononucleosis. I'm sure it's got to be tough watching this game. Your impressions, Carl, of the first half?
I think overall we're playing a good game. Both teams are tight, I think. Our defense is real good. We need to iron out a few things on the offensive side, but basically a pretty good game.
What do you think Coach is telling them right now? Anything in particular?
I think just keep working the ball, get the ball and Calvert more inside, I think.
Young man, if we can keep you healthy, a lot of people think you've got a very fine college career in basketball. How about it? Would you like to play basketball or maybe baseball? I know you excel in that as well.
I'm really not sure. Just no matter what, see what happens.
What about the current status with mononucleosis? Can you get back before the tournament, or is it a week-to-week thing?
I expect to a couple weeks. I'm going to go in and find out more, though.
Looking ahead with a game like this, is this an extra special game when you play someone like Memorial, a rival?
Oh, sure. Everybody gets keyed up for the Memorial game. Homecoming, it's always a big game, but every game's important, though. So.
One other thing. Carl, next year, what are the plans?
Oh, God, I don't know. Couldn't tell you.
You'll be able to go a lot of places with a 3.7 GPA. We wish you the best. Speedy recovery and good luck the second half. Carl Helt, wish he's within the lineup tonight. An outstanding young man, Dean. Let's talk about this first half. Who did what?
A guy that ended up in the starting lineup tonight was Brad Mueller, who doesn't start a lot for the Tigers. He leads the way with 6 points, and a guy that really took his place, Jeff Anderson, came off the bench and I thought really ignited the Tigers, especially in the second quarter. He picked up 6 points, and really he's the one that led the charge back. The Warriors led by Calbert Cheney, and it was a silent 8 points. Cheney having a little problem shooting, and it may be from the result of his back injury. We'll see how he does in the second half when he comes out and warms up. Kellen Tapp also with 5 points. And I thought Kevin Tapp came in and gave the Warriors a spark right at the tail end of the second quarter. In fact, gave them that big three-pointer that got him back in it.
We got a couple more people that we want you to meet here at halftime. The halftime activities will resume right after this.
Follow the leader, the one who leads the way. Follow the leader, the one who leads the way. What a leader, what a bank, citizens, the one who leads the way. Follow the leader.
For over 18 years, area farmers have relied on Southern Indiana Tire for quality Firestone tires. Southern Indiana Tire has the largest selection of farm tires in the tri-state at guaranteed lowest prices. Thousands of
Memorial on my right. This is Dennis Bays of Harrison. Dennis, you got to be pleased. This is a great year for Harrison High School.
Oh, we are pleased. We've had big crowds, a lot of enthusiasm, a whole lot of fun.
Let me ask you this: as a former coach, do you still get pumped up watching these games?
Oh, you bet. I'm the biggest fan they got.
About the Terre Haute South, I know there's been some confusion during the week. I know this game's still more important right now, but let's talk about Terre Haute. Okay. Are there tickets available? What time, Evansville time, should people be there?
Okay, the reserve JV game will start at 11 o'clock our time, and the varsity game at 12:30 at the Holman Center. And the tickets are on sale here at Harrison. We have 1,000 tickets to sell, and they'll send us some more for $3 a piece.
You got to be very proud, not only of the basketball, but this all-sports trophy. Are you ever going to let anybody else win it?
Not if we can help it. I think we got a lock on it this year already. It's not a dead cinch, but we're strong in the spring, and we got a pretty good lead right now. So if the kids continue to participate and do as well as they have, I think we'll get it again. We like that. That's fun.
It's SRO right here tonight. What do you think you have?
Well, we got our 3,000. Whatever it is that we can hold right at 3,000, we got them here tonight.
Again, Ron Wanamueller of Memorial. Ron, even on the road, you got to be pleased with what you see. It's good for basketball.
Oh, very definitely. Dennis and I were talking before the game back when, late 60s, early 70s. This is why we had, not consistently, but a lot of crowds like this. So this is great, really is.
Ron, with 13 games on the road, I think, out of the 20, what does that mean to you? Is it tougher? Of course, it's tougher financially, isn't it, for Memorial?
It is. This year, being the year we're on the road more, naturally we don't have as much income. But, that's just quirk in scheduling. I catch a lot of heck for it, and I guess part of it's my fault, but, we can't work it out. It'd be a little better next year.
As a former coach, what does a game like this do for a team 3 or 4 weeks before the tournament?
Oh, I think it's got to pump them up. We haven't been playing really too well the last few weeks, but this is good effort for us. Very good.
It's good to see it.
Thank you, Mike.
Ron, thanks for your time. Good luck in the second half. Two guys very happy with the outcome here with the crowd.
I think they're happy that they're on the sidelines now too, watching the game, and they've lost all their hair. It's turned gray. That's from all those years of coaching.
It sure is. By the way, Wanamueller I think he's been with the school 28 years. Dennis has been here, I don't know if he was here when the doors opened in 62, but it wasn't long after that.
And I'll tell you what, these guys earn their pay. Oh. These guys put in some long hours. I know Ron Wanamueller's at Memorial 7 days a week, and Dennis Bays is at work here like 6 o'clock in the morning, and he's here well until the night. Like tonight, he's here at 9:30 or whatever it's going to be tonight.
Listen, we're coming back. Start of the second half. It's just a minute away. We'll be back here at Harrison Gym in just a moment.
Tonight's IHSAA basketball game between the Memorial Tigers and the Harrison Warriors is being brought to you in part by the Evansville Catholic High Schools and WFIE-TV.
I've always taken pride and interest in Memorial. The opportunity to see youngsters go to that school and come out with a good quality education, good values at Memorial, morally sound, good discipline. The quality of graduates, you couldn't ask for finer people. And after being out of Memorial so many years, I'm still there as a big part of it and love every bit of it.
Evansville's Catholic High Schools, what high school should be.
Independence Dodge says, buy now and fly. Fly to the Bahamas free. Purchase any new...
Not very good shooting by either team, actually. The Warriors shot 42% or 36%. Memorial shot 42%. 10 of 24 for Memorial, 8 of 22 for Harrison. 0 for 2 from the free throw line for Memorial, and the Warriors shot 7 of 9. That is 78%. Rebounds dead even, and turnovers. You see the Memorial Tigers committed 13. Individual scoring for the Memorial Tigers. Anderson has had 6 points off the bench, and Mueller also had 6. Pat Schultz had 5. And for the Warriors, they were led by Calbert Cheney, despite his 2 for 8 from shooting from the field. He had 8 points. Kell and Tapp both had 5. And Tapp had the big three-pointer coming in off the bench as it was 19 to 15. And it'd been 10 straight points for the Memorial Tigers up until that point, until Kevin Tapp launched a 3, got it back to 19-18, and shortly thereafter, Cheney added a bucket, and then went on to outscore Memorial 8-2 the rest of the way to lead by 3.
Just to show you how good Cheney is, he's 13th in the state in scoring, actually 14th. A kid named Kevin Weissman out of Rising Sun leads the state with 31.4 points per game. And also IU-bound Pat Graham of Floyd Central is averaging better than 30 points. Third quarter, Harrison with the ball and the lead, 24-21. Brent Kell. I think they would want battling it around, and it goes to Harrison. Heath battling it, but I think they would want Kell to shoot a little more.
He's a good shooter from the outside, and if you just joined us, you've missed a great first half. We've had 5 ties and 10 lead changes.
This is the guy they want to shoot anytime. Ball's thrown away. Luckily for the Tigers, they did not touch that ball. A heads-up play by Kevin Tapp, but the Tigers will get it. Chad Weichert with a heavily taped left knee. Jason Edwards is in there with 3 fouls. Weichert in traffic. And Sean Weiss for the rebound. Kell, a very heady sophomore. They go low to Chaney. Can't hang on to it. Veith retrieves it. I don't think Chaney's moving as well. I think he's got to be hampered by that back.
He looks a little slow. That pass normally would have been snatched down, turned around, and shot in a matter of a second or so.
And that is not an alibi, but it's just, I think it's a fact. Here's Mueller. And both teams, the same script as the first quarter, not shooting well. This time he gets it. There it is.
Nice entry pass that time. That play was made by Kevin Tapp.
So Chaney becomes the first in double figures with 10. And as Dean mentioned before the game, he's the only one on the floor that averages double figures. Schultz on the turnaround. 7 points for Schultz, 26-23. Memorial back within 3. 6 minutes to go in the third quarter.
That was an important bucket for Memorial right there.
Wise loses it. Mueller controls it. Edwards clear across court to Schultz. Doesn't shoot it. This time he tries to give it back to his teammate. Memorial with, I think, 11 turnovers, as you said, in the first half. That's far too many for any team. You want that many for a game. Edwards can't hit it. And again, Chris Lowry brings it down.
Well, when Edwards shoots the ball outside like that, that doesn't leave much rebounding inside.
Kell, the basket is good, and a foul underneath, and they're pointing at Edwards.
That is big. A three-pointer by Kell.
.51, they call it on Tim Veith.
Let's take a look at Veith checking Chaney out. Not sure where the foul was. May have got him for pushing off a little bit.
Rich Racines wants a timeout with 5:26 to go in the third quarter. The same spread that it was at the halftime. It's 29-23. Actually, they've doubled it. It was a 3-point, now it's a 6-point lead.
6-point lead, and Memorial did this one other time. They called timeout when they got down by 6. They were down 15-9, and when the Tigers came back, they unleashed a 10-point run. So whatever Rich Racines usually tells them in a timeout usually works pretty well. And that's a sign of a good coach. Whenever you call timeout and you get things set up and you come out and do the things you're supposed to do, that's a sign of a good coach. And there's another good one right there.
You bet.
And you see he's got a good assistant there too. Gerald Van Deventer and Gene Ballard both working the players, telling them what you have to do to get done.
They're spelling it out for the young Warriors. By the way, on the subject of basketball, the people in Boonville will have their first Pioneer Classic Nostalgia Sectional. It begins Monday night, Chandler and Linville. Elberfeld against Tennyson, the first 2 games. It goes through the week. You've also got Millersburg and Selvin, Boonville and Newburgh. Should be fun at Boonville. The Nostalgia Sectional. Good luck, guys.
And of course, the sectionals for real for the girls will wind up tomorrow night at 64 sites.
Harrison and Central going at it in Evansville. You've got Southridge, one of the top teams in the state. They are also in the finals at Jasper. Down to 5 minutes. They find Lowry. Batted around, and it's knocked away by the Warriors.
I like that shot, though, by Lowry. Had his feet set, got a good jump shot off, followed his shot. That's what I like to see in a young kid.
Knew the shot was going to be a little off and followed it.
Edwards, an all-city football and all-SIAC defensive end for the football team that went 12-1. Schultz with the scoop shot. Gets the basket. Let's see if he gets the foul. Let's see if they count the basket.
They're going to give it to Kell and count the bucket. So 29-25, and Kell picks up the foul.
Schultz now with 9 points. There you see Gene Ballard, the assistant coach, talking to Chris Lowry. Lowry had a terrific game against North. He's had a couple of key games. He's getting his hand attended to. Hope it's not serious, as Pat Schultz tells the line.
He's dislocated a finger before, and I don't know if it's the same one or not.
And Schultz brings him back within 3. Schultz with his 10th point, 29-26. Harrison, the lead and the ball.
We'll try to get a report on Lowry, but it looks like it might be a dislocated finger. If so, that'd be a tough break.
Weichert with a steal. Schultz now. Edwards wanted somebody to break. And a foul this time. No, a double dribble. Double dribble called, and it goes back to the Warriors.
And the Tigers continue to have trouble hanging onto the ball. That's 12 turnovers now.
Last week, Gene Miller, after seeing his team dismantled by this Harrison team, said the Warriors are playing at a level reserved for few.
And he has seen a bunch of good ones.
Oh.
And he has put some good ones out there.
Be interesting to see what they do with the South Braves tonight. Again, don't forget, Dan Katz will have the scores and a lot of results in the world of sports tonight with Newswatch with David James, Kevin D, and Dan Katz at 10. But it's high school basketball, a preview of the sectionals right here, a great crowd, a good ball game. And traveling call on Sean Wise. So the Warriors are certainly getting opportunities, giving opportunities to the Tigers to get back in this ball game.
And Gerald Van Deventer did not like the call that time. He felt like Sean Weiss got pushed down. Not so, though.
You know, one of the things you talk about, you think there's a pressure when you're 14-0? Brad Mueller in the paint.
Gerald Van Deventer says, I like the pressure a whole lot better of being 14-0 than 0-14. So there's two ways to look at everything.
Says the difference is when you're 0-14, you can't get another job. Tap. And a rebound by Veet. So the Tigers come down. They can take the lead. Schultz up. A foul. And they call it on Schultz.
Schultz didn't like it, and Rich Racines is livid. That's a big call.
We're going to take another look.
This could be as much as a 6-point swing if Harrison would hit a three-pointer and Schultz would have hit his free throw, but you can see that Kell was over.
Heady young man, Brent Kell, again, he was knocked groggy a week ago, and just like that, Sean Wise with a clutch basket. His first of the night, and it's a big one.
Wise is a set shooter.
Deep. And now the intensity is picked up a notch. 2:35 to go in the third quarter. And the top gun so far, Jeff Anderson, will be coming back in for Memorial. Cheney gets it and puts it in.
Good patience that time. Gerald Van Deventer stood up and called the play. And play number 2 must be Calvert shoots and gets 2.
34-28. Weichert now tries it and gets a foul. Draws it on Darren Winstead. That's his second personal. Something that Gerald Van Deventer said. He said, we're cutting back on practice this time of the year.
You try to taper it off a little bit in the last month because a lot of times you get a little weary and just tired from playing. And
And both teams have had just about a week to prepare. Rich Racines before the game said, boy, it's really unusual that we get this much time to prepare for a game. And I said, do you really prepare for a team, and do you know the characteristics of a team? He said, we've only got one player we know about on the Harrison team, and that's Albert Cheney.
There again, the young man, Chris Lowry. Look at that finger. Apparently, it has been injured, re-injured. That is a shame. Outstanding young man. They call him Pee-wee, but boy, he's the guts of that offense.
It may be injured, but it's taped, and he's ready to go back in.
Brad Roopson checks in now as Chad Weichert cuts it to 3, 2:11 on the clock. Weichert has 4 points. But Memorial, on the other hand, when you play 8 people, Rich Racines says, I can't cut the practices. They have to go the 2 hours. Three-point shot, a good one. Darren Winstead.
And again, that time, Memorial falling off, trying to find where Cheney was, and another big three-pointer.
The biggest lead of the ball game, 7 points, 37-30. Memorial now must be careful. Anderson.
The Tigers showing good patience, looking for a good shot inside. Look for Edwards or look for Anderson. Anderson's the one that's been hot.
I would think here's where Memorial must be very patient, not try to get it back too soon. Nice dish down to Roopson, and he gets it.
Nice shot that time by Roopson.
His first basket, 37-32, a minute to go in the third quarter. Warriors by 5, trying for their 15th win in a row. Assuming everybody can stay healthy on this outstanding club, they'll be the favorite to win the sectional. And a foul.
I believe it's going to be Anderson.
And I believe it's on Mueller.
Anderson had a disgusted look on his face, but they give it to Mueller, and that's the team's third foul here in the second half. So Harrison gets another crack at it.
Kell. 40-32 with 30 seconds to go. So the three-point shots down to 25.
4 of the last 5 shots that the Warriors have hit have been three-pointers. 2 by Kell, 1 by Wise, and 1 by Winstead. And all of a sudden, it's an 8-point lead.
Harrison capable of doing that. This is Schultz. Mueller, and a foul underneath. Foul on Calbert Cheney. And Jason Childer just said 43 for 53. Edwards is going to come out of there. 4 seconds to go in the third quarter. The biggest lead of the ball game. Childers is one of those kids that one time he said he didn't care if he didn't start. He gets a lot of playing time. But Mueller is going to the line.
Mueller is an excellent free throw shooter. He is 25 of 29, now 26 of 30 on the year. 86% coming into tonight.
He averages 9. He's got 9.
Wants to go and play baseball at U of E.
That's right.
His college plans. Pretty good pitcher for the Eugene Pate squad in the Legion last summer.
Tim Veith comes in. Sean Wise will bring it in. Wise, Winstead, and Kell with big three-point shots. Kell. We have 8 minutes to go here at Harrison Gym. When we come back, it's 40-34, the Warriors. Harrison Warriors leading here 40-34. Memorial with the ball as we start the fourth quarter. Roopson is left open. And Memorial, down by 8, is back within 4.
At the end of the third quarter, both teams shooting identical from the field, 14 of 33. But the big difference in that quarter was the Warriors shot 4 of 5 3-pointers, and their only miss was that half-court shot by Kell at the end of the quarter.
Jason Edwards diving for it. Tough night for Edwards, by the way. Still scoreless and 3 personals.
Well, he is on Mr. Chaney, and he's done a pretty good job of that. So even though his stats may not show it, he's done a great job tonight, and he's played quite a long time without getting that 4th foul.
Yes, he has. And a foul. There is number 4 right there. Edwards pleading his case to Mike Zaire.
He said, how can I be called for the foul when I'm just standing there? Let's take another look at it. I was watching the two. You see Chaney reaching in, but you see the right hand of Edwards coming in there as Calvert tried to make the move down the lane a little bit. And that's probably where he got called for the foul. Instead of the body contact, it might have been the hand around the waist.
Calvert tonight below his average, as is just about everybody. He has 12 points. But more importantly, the Warriors with the lead, 40-36. Childers got his hand on it. Edwards goes up to Weichert. He puts it up. Weichert brings Memorial back within 2, 40-38, 6:52 remaining.
This game is what we expected, and it certainly lived up to its billing.
And a double dribble. Edwards with the defense. You talk about a physical mismatch. Edwards guarding Tapp. Edwards is 6'5". Kevin is 6 foot. So Ribson now brings it across. Memorial with a chance to tie it.
The Warriors now have 16 turnovers. So Harrison and the Tigers both having a little trouble handling on the ball tonight.
Down low, Childers. One of the things that Chad Weichert does is sees the floor, and he saw the floor very well there, hitting Childers underneath. It's 40-40 with 6:26 remaining.
It was 40-32, and the Tigers scored the last bucket of the third quarter, and they've ripped off 6 straight points now. And the Jason Childers bucket has made it all even at 40. Take another look at Childers, and as you mentioned, Chad Weichert has great court vision. Well, this is going to be a good vision here of getting it up on the backboard after the steal, and Weichert put it in. So Gerald Van Deventer now says, okay, guys, here's the board, and here's what we're going to do. And they've got to figure out a way to get Calvert Chaney open, or they've got to continue to hit the 3-point shot.
By the way, basketball will resume here tomorrow on NBC and Channel 14. But let's take another look at, we got another play we want to see, as Gerald Van Deventer says, let's go, guys. Here's the pass.
There you see Childers made a nice backdoor cut, and that play was set up by the pick out on the wing.
You got it. Childers, by the way, they call him Chocolate. Chocolate really got off the floor. He had 20 points and 12 rebounds in the holiday tournament against North. So Harrison now with a talented young guard by the name of Brent Kell sets up the offense, trying to regain the lead, and a foul on Tim Beath.
Beath now is the one that's assigned to Calvert Chaney. And Beath said, I got hooked, and Rich Racines is saying the exact same thing. We are tied for the 6th time in the game at 40-40, and Chaney will go to the free throw line with a chance to untie it. He's an 82% free throw shooter, and a guy that's signed early to take all the pressure off himself for his high school senior year.
Calvert cannot convert, coming down to 6 minutes. Weichert. We talked earlier about, as he throws it away, we talked about Memorial still trying to find the puzzle. What did Jock Collins and Aaron Grease, 2 guys who aren't playing this year, What did they mean to this ball club?
Well, Grease elected to play baseball, and Collins graduated, but those two guys were pesky. They were just always in your face, and Memorial's always had that player down the line, a Shane Barrett type, who was always right there, played good perimeter defense, handled the ball, distributed the ball, got it to the right guy, and this year they're struggling a little bit with that.
Cheney, great rebound on the basket. There you saw the tremendous athletic ability as the young man who's got over 90 rebounds went up and took charge. 42-40. Veith has to be careful. This is Edwards.
Chris Lowry, with Carl Held out of the lineup, is now the team's third leading rebounder.
And a foul on Tim Veith. And a technical foul on Tim. He said the magic words with 5 minutes to go.
He's talking it over with Veith right now. And Van Deventer talks it over with Frankel.
Pat Schultz will check back in. Brad Mueller checks back in. 5 minutes exactly.
Cheney will shoot the free throws on the foul. During the bonus, he will probably also shoot the technical.
You know, the early signing really helped.
Took the pressure off him, and it can go one of either way. It can put the pressure back on you because you signed with a big school in Indiana University and everybody wants to come see you play. But in Calvert's case, it's taken all the pressure off him because he can relax because he knows where his college plans will be. And now we have 2 shots, so they may have called the technical on Macimas because they said 2 shots.
No, I thought
this was the 1-on-1. They've already shot the technical.
There you go. So Calvert makes 3 of the 4. I've got him with 17 points. 5 minutes to go. And they get the ball. Big play here. The technical as Sean Weiss brings it in. Nice feed to Cheney. And a foul again. A push. They're calling it a 1-on-1 after. Brad Roopson.
This has been a big trip up the floor. It was tied at 40-40. Cheney's hit a bucket and 3 free throws. And now he's hit another bucket. It's now 47-40, and he's got a chance to shoot another free throw and miss.
So Memorial, which looked at an 8-point deficit, is staring at a 7-point one now as Weicker doesn't get it to go. And a good rebound by Kevin Tapp. Lowry. Sore finger and all. Down to 4:20 to go. Try to get into Cheney. And again, a foul on Memorial.
Edwards came over the top that time, tried to knock the ball away, and he got called for having probably his right hand on the body. And the official is going to go over and explain why he called the foul. Let's take another look at it, and we'll see if maybe we can figure out where Edwards picks it up. Here comes the entry pass, and you see the right hand on the hip. And that's where he got called for the foul.
Timeout, 4:20 to go. Memorial trying to keep the wheels from coming off. Harrison's opened it up, and they'll go to the line with a 47-40 lead.
Big turn of events this time with Edwards now out of the game with the 5th foul. And the technical foul on Veith. And with Calvert Cheney rising to the occasion, it's an old cliche, but the cream has come to the top here as the 4th quarter is winding down. Cheney's got 7 points here in the fourth quarter. He has 19 for the game, and it has been a quiet 19. And he has scored all of Harrison's points here in the quarter.
Tomorrow on NBC and Channel 14 at 2 o'clock, the New Rose games. Then at 3 o'clock, North Carolina State and DePaul. On Sunday, Sports World at 12:30, followed by Duke at Notre Dame. That'll be a 3 o'clock game on Sunday. But locally, don't forget the Aces at home against St. Louis. That'll be at 3:05 at the stadium. That game will not be televised because it is an afternoon game. I want to tell all those people that were planning parties. They said, Mike, how come we went home to watch the replay? There will be no replay tomorrow night. Anderson.
Anderson, who came off the bench in the first half.
You almost wonder where has he been. 47-42.
He's been on the bench.
Right. And a turnover. So Schultz will again bring it across under 4 minutes. Anderson, I think, has been told to put it up. This is Weichert. Nice dish to Roopson.
Excellent play by Chad Weichert. Saw Roopson underneath. No look pass. 2 points. Back within 3.
3:35 remaining. Harrison 14-0, unbeaten. Memorial 10-4.
Watch Anderson and Cheney going at it inside as Jeff Anderson gets the task of guarding Mr. Cheney for a while.
And a foul. They call it on Brad Roopson.
That's Roopson's 4th. So number 11, who has come in and played very well, has picked up 4 fouls as well.
So Chris Lowry.
Chris has actually kind of struggled the last couple of 3 games, and he's finding himself tonight, even with the injured finger, and we'll see if it hampers his free throw shooting at all.
Apparently it does. Anderson gets it across. A little over 3 minutes remaining. Schultz batted around and knocked away by Kevin Tapp. Boy, they have great hands. Tapp, Winstead, Kell, they're really good defensive kids.
And the game is starting to get a little physical. It's starting to really get rough inside.
And a foul. They call a foul. There's the principal of Ray Bailey. What a job his school has done. We congratulate him for the several all-sports trophies, 5 in the last 6 years. And as Dennis Bays told us at halftime, Dean, unless, the Warriors here, they got the girls in the finals of the girls tournament. They are going to be something again this year. Rebound, Chris Lowry goes up with a big board. Under 3 minutes, and a foul on Brad Roopson, and that may be number 5.
Roopson is out, so now Rich Racines will go to the well and bring back Beath.
Roopson, who attended St. John's in Newburgh, he comes out, an all-city cross-country performer. So Tim Beath goes in.
They lose a little quickness when Roopson comes out and they bring Beath in. But they gain a little size as Brent Kell goes to the free throw line. A good free throw shooter. And that sounds kind of repetitious when you talk about any of these Harrison Warriors. 82% from the free throw line.
And Brent now with 12 points. He averages 9. Young man leads the club with more than 45 assists, whatever he's got tonight. Schultz, big basket, 49-46, 2:35 to go.
And here comes the pressure. Harrison had very little trouble with it.
Kell keeping control, and a foul on Brent Kell.
Good call. Kell threw the arm out. Weichert was all set up there. Take another look at it, and you're going to see Chad Weichert get to the baseline, not let his man around the baseline. Moves over, and Kell leaning the shoulder in. Thought it was the arm, got him with the shoulder.
2:15 remaining. Tim Beat draws the foul, but the basket did not go in. The shot did not go in. 2:06 on the clock.
And see, this is where they can use a Carl Help. Held at 6'7" inside, really patrolled the paint, really was the defensive guy inside. And now Sean Wise has got to pick it up a notch, and he also has to guard a bigger person. And the same with Kevin Taft. He's got to come in and guard the man that Sean Wise would have guarded. So Harrison now plays small when they would normally play a little bit bigger.
So Tim Beat, a third-team All-American, wants to attend Duke University in soccer.
He's going to do it. He is going there on a soccer scholarship.
He's the Indiana Player of the Year, led the Tigers to the state title. I think you'd say it's in the genes, don't you think? In the Beat genes.
Great athlete from his father and his brother.
A 1-point ball game, 49-48, 2:02. Schultz got a hand on it, but Brent Kell controls it.
The Tigers are on an 8-2 run.
Again, we remind you it was a hard stopper last year and a foul on Anderson as Calbert Cheney made the game winner.
Here's the replay, and Anderson lost Cheney for just a second, and that's all it takes for Mr. Cheney as he widens the body out and got the ball in there.
While we have the chance, a very serious item to us. The entire staff of Channel 14, particularly the staff putting on the game tonight, our condolences to our outstanding chief engineer, Marion Paul, who lost his father. Mr. Paul died earlier today. We certainly, our thoughts and prayers are with the chief, and Marion, we express our sympathies. We could not do these games without him and the staff that he puts together. So Calbert Cheney, the money man, 2 big free throws, 51-48, 1:40 to go. The Warriors have led it all the stops. The final stop is 1:34 away. Schultz battling, and they call traveling.
Gerald Van Deventer said, how can that be traveling? You never got up, and I'd have to tend to agree with that. That's the rule if you don't try to get up. But they may have said he slid with the ball.
A-Rad McCutcheon said, if you don't move, how can it be traveling? 1:25. Anderson into the paint, up and in, and a foul, and they call it on tap.
That's a big call. And Anderson will now have a chance to go to the free throw line and take another look, and this is a very, very close one. We're going to have the opportunity to see it in slow motion, and you see Tapp might have got over there just a split second late, and Anderson lays it in, and we'll have a chance for a free throw here to tie everything up.
With 1:18 to go, Jeff Anderson.
He only came in shooting 50%, 10 of 20, and we saw him playing a couple up there in the first half before he kind of got untracked from the field.
He has 10 points, and his 11th is a big one. 51 all, 1:18 to go. Did you think you might see more full court pressure earlier in the ball game from either team, Dean?
I think with only 8 players, they might want to try to save the energy, and the press is a tactic you want to use to pick your team up a little bit, and I think that's why both teams may have waited a little bit, and they play such great half-court defense.
We'll be back. 1:06 remaining. We're all tied up.
We've got what you want to see. Everything looks better on Evansville Cable TV.
This week, $5 installation on basic cable and the Disney Channel, and we'll donate your $5 to Easter Seals.
We've got the movies, we've got sports and specials too. We've got it all for you. Evansville Cable TV, it's what what you want to see.
One of the big plays in the closing moments. We're getting another look.
This produces the 7th tie of the ball game as Kevin Tapp came over, tried to get the charge on Jeff Anderson. Anderson lays it in, hit the free throw, and now with just 66 seconds left, we're tied at 51-51. It's the 7th tie of the ball game.
And again, that young man in the suit is Carl Helt, who certainly is being missed and will be missed if he has to stay out the remainder of the season. We certainly hope he gets back.
Harrison played so well without Carl against Vincennes, and Gerald Van Deventer said, hey, let's not kid anybody. We are going to miss Carl Helt, even though we played an outstanding game without him one time.
Well, it's gone down to the way the series has gone down. Whenever these two teams meet, it's always a hard-fought ball game. And talk about living up to its billing. This is the guy that you want the ball in his hands.
Anderson playing some great defense on Chaney right there. Will they wait for the last shot? Will they put it up? It looks like they're going to take it whenever they get it, because Chaney looked like he wanted to shoot it, and he looks like he wants the ball right now.
You've got down to 38 seconds. You've got Jeff Anderson, 41 in blue, on Calvert Chaney. Edwards is long gone.
And with a three-point shot now, if you only take a two, then that gives the other team a chance to win it.
Here's Calvert. The turnaround and the rebound. Riker with the ball. 19 seconds to go. 15 seconds. They better get going. Timeout with 11 seconds to go. We're coming back in just a moment. SRO. I don't think anybody's left the place, Dean Webster. 11 seconds to go. Here's the last shot by Calvert Chaney.
Chaney got a great shot in the paint. Sometimes it goes in, sometimes it doesn't. Hangs on the front of the rim. And Wise and Tapp both had a shot at it, and it ended up being deflected away, and Weicker came down with it, worked it to 11 seconds, and timeout, and here we go.
Schultz to inbound the ball. They have got to hurry. 8 seconds. Anderson. 4. Rip. We're going to overtime. 51 all. We're going to play another period. And we'll be back right after this.
Glenn A. Gramp has a history of success in personal injury cases. One of the largest personal injury verdicts in Vanderburgh County. 15 years experience in litigation. Proven trial attorney. If you've been wrongfully injured, Glenn Gramp is the kind of attorney you want in your corner. He will handle your case personally, providing concerned professional help in and out of the courtroom. Call Glenn A. Gramp. He's in your corner. No fee until your claim is settled.
So after Calvert Chaney could not connect, neither could Pat Schultz, and we put another 3 minutes on the clock.
A lot of sweaty palms in both huddles right now, and I'm sure Gerald Van Deventer is breathing a sigh of relief after Pat Schultz put the shot up. I don't think it was the exact shot the Tigers wanted in that situation, but they got it up with about 3 seconds to go.
You're watching high school basketball on WFIE-TV, Channel 14, Evansville. Chaney can't hang on to it. A jump ball. And it'll go to Memorial. Again, tomorrow night, hopefully it'll be a packed house. Just a few tickets remain for USI and Kentucky Wesleyan, the GLVC. What a game that'll be. 7:30 at the Pack. Harrison led 11-9 at the quarter, 24-21 at the intermission. Beat. And a foul on Harrison. At the third quarter, they also trailed. But it was tied up at the end of regulation, 51-51.
Take a look at the fourth quarter stats, and Harrison, Mike, only shot 4 times from the field in the fourth quarter. They were 2 of 4. Memorial was 7 of 11. The percentage is now in Memorial's favor, 48-43, as Tim Veith puts the Tigers ahead. And we'll have to scramble to figure out when the last time the Tigers were ahead, and I believe it was at 21-20. And they now lead by 2, 53-51.
Kevin Tapp needs some help, and they didn't get it across. Memorial will get the ball with 2:16 remaining. Dean, if this is any indication of what the sectional will be, and again, you're going to hear from Bosse, you're going to hear from North and all the other schools in this area. You got Princeton, Castle.
I don't think the Evansville sectionals is wide open this year as it was last, but it's certainly anybody's ball game between probably these two teams and Bosse, and I'm sure North would not want me to leave them out.
Jeff Anderson and Calvert Cheney with a rebound. A minute 45.
It's a pressure situation, and we asked the players on both teams, who's your money man in the pressure situation? And a lot of the Harrison Warriors put down Brent Kell. Split about half-half between this man.
And Calvert Cheney connects. We're tied with a minute 20 to go. 53 all.
I wouldn't mind putting all of my eggs in Mr. Cheney's basket. He's a pretty good shooter anytime he wants to shoot.
23 for Cheney, 53 for the Warriors and Tigers. From the side, Mueller, rebound Lowry, and now with a minute to go, the Warriors bring it down in the driver's seat.
Lowry with another big rebound.
And a foul on Pat Schultz. I would think Rich Racemius has got to be happy with what he has seen tonight. I don't know if he felt his team would have this ability to stay in this game as long as they have.
Well, you know, you said they just really didn't have the pieces of the puzzle put together. They've got all the pieces. They've just got to get them all in the right order. It's not like they're missing any. They've got some players who can definitely play. And you play a team like Harrison tonight and really not get the offensive production out of Jason Edwards tonight, and you're still in overtime with the number 4 ranked team in the state.
Both he and Chris Lowry, Brent Kell, suffer from asthma. I have a couple of sons that have the same problem. That is really tough for an athlete. And Brad Mueller puts the Tigers back on top, 55-54. A foul, and the basket is good.
It's going to be on Schultz. And Schultz, I think, is a little upset at the defense that time. He wanted to have the 1-3-1 half-court trap, and he got beat, and I think it may just have been a little miscommunication.
37 seconds remain.
So Kell hits the bucket, and now we'll go to the free throw line.
A young man out of Stockwell and Plaza. A lot of talent here from Plaza Park. It remains 56-55. 34 seconds to go as Schultz comes across.
We have no shot clock, so it doesn't matter.
Brad Mueller. Kell with a rebound. Boy, you don't want to foul that kid, and they do. 18 seconds to go.
Kell a little bit out of control that time, and the Warriors might have got away with a break. So with 18 seconds, Kell will go to the free throw line. And as we have mentioned, a good free throw shooter. Take a little look at Kell coming down. He beats Anderson, and Weichert, trying to wait for the trap, reaches in and commits the foul.
Only 18 seconds remain. But nothing but the bottom of the well with this one. Jason Childers about to check in for Memorial.
Gerald Van Deventer says Brent Kell has a great feeling for the game and an excellent idea of what we're trying to do. And that is simply inside to Calbert Cheney, and they pick their outside shots very well, and they've done that tonight.
Big free throw, 3-point lead. Here comes Memorial down. They want a timeout with 14 seconds on the clock. Dean, they just brought in Childers for Mueller. What do you think about that?
Childers can also shoot the three-pointer. They're going to have to go with the three, and the most likely candidate would probably be Pat Schultz. Schultz on the year, 8 of 16 three-pointers, 50%. But you've also got a guy by the name of Jeff Anderson. Anderson's only taken 7 three-pointers, but he's hit 5 of them. And he and Weichert are both excellent three-point shooters. Weichert a 56% three-point shooter, but they just don't shoot them very often. Schultz is the one that normally is taking the three-point shot.
Well, we thought it would be a good one when we tried to pick a game that would have everything that a game should have, the crowd, the play on the floor, and this one is delivered. 14 seconds in overtime, a 3-point ball game.
Childers is in there because he's a great athlete, and if Memorial would happen to miss their first three-point attempt, he will be the man designated to get the rebound, turn around, and throw it back out to the wing where they can get another shot off. So it may be where Anderson will stand on one wing, Schultz off at the top, and Weichert on the other wing, and those three won't go to the boards. And it will be up to Veith and be up to Childers to get the rebound and get it back out to a three-point shooter.
Ten seconds. They got to hurry. Schultz doesn't get the roll, and a foul. Veith commits the foul with 3 seconds to go. Schultz gave it a shot, but the Warriors should prevail.
Not out of the woods yet, the Harrison Warriors. There's the shot, a little farther than you'd want to take it. And it, comes off the front of the rim.
So Kevin Tapp goes to the line.
He can ice it. And the Warriors have put all their people back. And the crowd will tell you what happens. Gerald Van Deventer looks at his team and says, don't foul.
Three seconds to go. Weichert puts it up, almost put it in. A great ball game. The final score. The Harrison Warriors, 4th ranked in the state. Look at this crowd, 60. The Memorial Tigers, 55 in overtime, and they're going bananas at Harrison Gym.
We said it was a sectional type atmosphere, and the game lived up to its billing. And wow, what a game, 60-55 in overtime.
Calbert Cheney had it when he needed it. Give Memorial a lot of guts. Maybe they have found some of that magic that they needed. Give the Warriors a lot of credit. This team is for real. And that is the final score, 60-55 Harrison. Good night from the Harrison Gym.
When it comes to finding a good movie, I watch the lines. You can do the same thing with money market accounts, too. To find the best one, look where the most people have put the most money. Not surprisingly, it's at Old National. So if you haven't reviewed our money market checking and savings yet, take it from those who have. It's a hit. 3 popcorns, please.
Old National, Old National.
Even if we don't like to think about it, preparing a legal will is a very important part of taking